Hey guys, it's Sean here from Microbudget Film Lab, and as promised, I wanted to talk this week a little bit about how to do advertising on Facebook to promote your movie, because it can be a really important part of marketing. And now there's all kinds of ways to market through social media platforms, through the internet, things like Google and so on. And I'm not an expert in those at all, and there are entire courses on that sort of thing. But Facebook itself can be a very powerful way to market your film, and so I'm going to focus on that now. Now, I would suggest I'm going to talk about some things that I can't go into in detail. There are a number of places you can go to find out stuff about some of the technical details of Facebook marketing, in particular the Facebook Pixel, which allows you to track visits to your website, for instance. And there is a guy named John Loomer, Jonloomer, who specializes in Facebook marketing and the Facebook Pixel. And he has a great blog that does this stuff in detail. He runs regular webinars. Of course, he sells his services, but you can get tons of information for free from his website. So I recommend checking that out. Now, to start with, you will need a Facebook page for your film if you're going to advertise on Facebook, which I presume hopefully you did in the pre-production phase of creating your movie. And you'll also need a business manager account to buy ads on Facebook. So this is, I'm in incognito mode here just so that it doesn't automatically come up because I have a cookie established on my web browser, so it automatically goes to my account. But so I opened this page in incognito mode, so you could just see when you go to Business Manager, you can create an account here. It's a really simple process. You're going to put in your Facebook info, and then once your Facebook info is in, it's going to ask, it's going to walk you through setting up an account. You'll probably need a PayPal account in order to pay. That's how I pay. So I have, for instance, a personal PayPal account in which I buy ridiculous trinkets online through Amazon, and I have a business PayPal account through which I make payments, I receive payments, that sort of thing. So that's the first thing, is you're going to have to set up a business.facebook.com account, which you can see across the top there, and go there. Now, we'll go into my Facebook account itself. When you've got it set up, you'll go to the Business Manager page where you'll see all the stuff that you do and that you can track. See my page is there. This is an unused page because I ended up going differently, but this is my Microbudget Film Lab page, and it's got some stats there. And if I click on this, it will open up my page manager where I can go in and I can post things and whatnot. And then this is my ad account where I buy ads to promote Microbudget Film Lab, and whether that's promoting posts on my page or promoting ads that I use that probably got you to like the page in the first place, or to give me your email address, by which I'm now in contact with you and sending you annoying emails once a week or more. So that will then appear here too, with some basic stuff like how many ad campaigns you have active, and at the moment you can see I only have one, and how much money has been spent on that ad campaign. Now when you click on this, it opens up into your ad manager, and there are a series of tabs across the top. And so what I want to do is I'm going to create an ad, and so you can see the basic idea of how that happens. And this is actually a really good way to see how effectively your advertising is going. There's an incredible amount of detail that happens here, and it breaks down. And so there's these tabs across the top. There's your account overview, which has kind of the number of ads that you're running, the number of link clicks you're getting, the reach of your ads. You can see 38,700, the amount of money that has been spent, and so on. Then you kind of are drilling down into increasingly detailed levels of information. The various ads that I'm running, these have kind of ended already, even though they're turned on. The actual time of them has ended, because you can set it on a schedule. And all I'm running at the moment is what's called a lead ad, which is inviting people to download my ebook for free, that goes through how to create a micro-budget film. And so now that is a campaign that I'm running, and within that campaign you can have multiple ad sets, because one thing you can do is, and I only have one, but in the past, what I've done is something called split testing, in which I try multiple ads to see which one converts the best. By convert, I mean which gets the most clicks through. And so now, again, there's all this information. You can see it's active. The number of leads, that's the number of people who have gone, the conversions, they've gone to visit my blog, they've bought something, and how many people have given me their email address through a reach of 31,224 people have seen the ad, and 355 have clicked. So you can get a sense of the kind of percentages you're talking about. You're not going to get a 10% click-through rate. You're going to get a very low click-through rate, but it's useful because Facebook will spread it out quite widely. Then you can see how much it costs for each click. On average, over a lengthy period of time, it costs me about $1.21 for every person who downloads my book. That's how much I'm spending per day. That's how much I've spent in the last month or so. And again, the amount of detailed data is incredible, and you can customize it. You can add, all kinds of demographic detail. So I can see, for instance, if from my downloads of the ebook people purchase, I can see amongst those people what demographic purchased, were more likely to actually make a purchase on my website. So I can see, okay, well, sure, it's cheaper for me to market to people between the ages of 18 and 24 because they're more likely to download the ebook. But even though it costs more, people between the ages of 26 to 34 are more likely to make a purchase. So it's a more efficient spend on your advertising and so on. Again, you can drill down to further detail and look at your the specific ads that you're running. So you can see, you can drill down. So now let's create an ad so we can look at some of the ways that you can generate interest in your movie and how you can target people. So first of all, there's different ways that what you're trying to do. Are you trying to get conversions, like sales, for instance? So that would be then the purpose of your ad, and then Facebook will automatically optimize your ad in order to get conversions. Are you just trying to get traffic to your website, for instance, is another way, or traffic to your blog to generate interest? Are you trying to generate leads, like people who will give you their emails, for instance? There's all kinds of possibilities, and so it's useful to use the one that you're trying to do. Now, in this case, I'm just going to create an ad for last week's post about marketing. And so really all I want to get traffic. I'm trying to reach my followers, because I have about 19,000 followers on Facebook, and Facebook doesn't just send out, Facebook wants to make money off you, unfortunately. So when you put a post on your Facebook page, it's not just going to be served to all the people who are followers of your Facebook page. It will go to a certain number of people, and it can get momentum. If people start to share it and like it and so on, it'll go kind of organically to a large number of people. But if you want to expand that influence, you purchase an ad. And in this case, so I'm trying to get traffic to an ad. So it says, okay, traffic. So what's your campaign name? And you can create split tests to see which one works best. So campaign name, we'll call it Marketing One Boost. I'm boosting a post. And we'll call it Marketing One. So traffic. Where am I trying to drive traffic? I'm trying to drive traffic to my website, to the blog. Am I creating an offer for people? No, I'm not. Am I going to create it? Now, here's the thing: is you can save audiences. Facebook is really smart. I have all these saved audiences, and they basically are certain demographics, often things like, for instance, a lookalike audience for a blog promo. So this will basically, it targets people who have engaged in a certain kind of behavior and have certain interests. So perhaps they've clicked on I want to create a lookalike audience for people who downloaded my book. my ebook, for instance. And so what I'll do is I'll go and I'll create a lookalike audience, and I use the Facebook pixel, which I mentioned, and I mentioned looking up John Loomer. He talks about the Facebook pixel because what the Facebook pixel is just a small piece of code that you put on the global header of your website or your blog. And every time somebody visits a page on your blog or website, the pixel, this little piece of code, sends a message back to Facebook and says, this person was there. And because Facebook is ubiquitous and so many people are on it, it tracks what you're doing, which is a little creepy, but it's a way for you to track people who visit and their then behavior. And because people are visiting all kinds of places, Facebook gathers an enormous amount of data about what people's online behaviors, whether they make purchases, whether they visit this kind of site or that kind of site, what age range they are, what geographic region are, what ethnicity they are, whether they're male or female, or have an undeclared gender, all this kind of stuff. So what I did at various points was I wanted to create a lookalike opt-in audience. An opt-in were people who they opted into my email list by downloading the ebook, and I could then create an audience of people who specifically, based on the demographics of people who are likely to click that link on my Facebook ad for my downloadable ebook, and then downloaded the ebook. And based on that, then I can target my ads more effectively to only go to those people who are most likely, based on the behavior of people who did download the ebook, the same kind of people to target my advertising so that I have a more efficient ad spend. So I won't add that. I'm going to go through the process of creating an audience so that you can see. Now you can choose the location where people are. This defaults to Canada because it's my location, but say I wanted to add locations, I add bulk locations. Let's say a series of countries. So I'll go United States, United Kingdom, Australia, Spain, because I live here, and so I want to meet people from here. Ireland, so kind of English language speaking places. And it's like, okay, so it finds those, it puts those in. So now you can see on the map all the places that are being targeted. You know, everybody in that age range. I'm going to try everybody. I'm going to target people who speak English. There's not much point in serving to people who don't speak English since my material is in English. And now here's where it gets interesting. You can do this kind of detailed targeting. Now this is a new one that just sort of adds in engaged shoppers, but I'm targeting people who are specifically interested in film. So I would search people who are interested in filmmaking type stuff. So for instance, magazines like No Film School, it comes up. See, now that has people, that would be the number of likes, the number of people who have engaged, expressed an interest or like pages related to No Film School. So I can do that. I can add, I can just pick something like, okay, independent film. People are interested in independent film, but that can include, you have to be specific because independent film could include people who just like to watch it, not necessarily people who like to make it. See, but now because I chose No Film School, it's come up with a whole series of suggestions. Oh, Filmmaker Magazine, Video Maker Magazine, Film Riot. You can see there's a whole bunch, and I can go on and on. And as I add these, it begins to focus my potential reach. So right now it's saying I could potentially, with this ad, reach 7.8 million people. And it's saying my audience is fairly broad. And I generally try to get it down to about 2 million to 3 million people so that it's sort of a focused, it's not serving it too widely, because your ad spend, unless you're spending thousands and thousands of dollars, you're never going to reach 7.8 million people. So it's better if you're more focused so that it's more efficient in terms of your reach. Now you can save this as an audience so that you don't have to do this every time with each ad spend. And then you can choose where to place it. You can do automatic placements, which Facebook just sends it everywhere. Facebook, Instagram, Audience Network, Messenger, or you can edit your placements. Generally, the most effective stuff is your news feeds. I don't generally use right columns. They don't perform that well. Maybe Instagram, maybe instant articles, and so on. And then you choose your daily budget. So say, oh, I only want to spend 5. And then what are you optimizing for? In this case, I'm optimizing for link clicks. I want people to go through and go to my website. So once you've chosen all those details, you can then go to create your ad that you're going to do. There's different kinds of ads, carousel ads, which show multiple images, single images, videos, slideshows, collections, all this stuff. Now, I'm going to use an existing post. And in this case, this my most recent post, limited cash for marketing, following what's a micro-budget filmmaker to do to build an audience. And so now this is the post that's going to be served to people on their Facebook newsfeed. And you can see what it'll look like on all the different places, your desktop, on a mobile newsfeed, and so on. You want to track all your conversions if you have a Facebook pixel on your website, and then you're going to confirm, and you're going to have an ad. Now, I'm not going to confirm because I want to target differently. I'm going to go instead to my page, in this case, boosting a post. And I should say that you can do this. So this is creating an ad. I would probably, because I want to maintain social proof. Social proof is that people click them, people like it, they leave comments, that kind of thing. And if you create an ad, you can always continue to use it. You can stop it, restart it. It's easier to use from a post than it is to just create an ad that has no existence on your Facebook page. And you can send people, the link you can send people to is, if you're creating a new ad, you can you tell people where you want to send them to, what the link is. You put the text in, the headline in, you put the website URL. Let's say if you've got an Amazon, your film is posted on Amazon, you would put that link here, and so on, so in order that you can send people where you want to send them. But in this case, I'm just going to post a boost. And you see, this is what I see when I go into my Facebook page, where I post things in my news feed. I can see, oh, okay, this is the number of people that organically have seen the post. And so I'll add to it, I'll boost it. And again, you can choose how to target your ad. So here it says people you choose through targeting. But I'm going to target my regular audience, people who already like my page, and they're from all over the world. So then it's like, okay, what's my total budget? Say my total budget is $50 over 7 days. Means I'm going to spend $7 per day. I want to spend maybe less than that, maybe $40. So I'm spending a little over $5 a day. I'm going to pay through my PayPal account, and then I'm going to boost it, and people are going to start to see the ad, and it'll, instead of saying just being an ad that appears, it'll say sponsored, so people know that it's an ad that you've purchased in the interest of, I guess, transparency. And Facebook will now decide whether your ad is acceptable or not, and then let you know, and you can now boost that post. And that post, if it were going to my Amazon listed film, I would be promoting that Amazon listed film to my audience, as I've done in the past. So that's a quick, brief overview of how to use Facebook to target detailed audiences, and how to promote your film, promote your blog, promote your web page, or what have you. As I say, it's a really quick overview just to show you that it's actually quite intuitive and really easy to use in comparison to Google, which is quite complicated. I mean, you've got to kind of get a degree in Google advertising to really understand SEO, and Facebook is much simpler in terms of doing that. and then will allow you to track the effectiveness of your ads so that you can change them on an ongoing basis. You can go back in and say, okay, maybe I'll put less text in. Maybe I'll have a different headline. Maybe this headline is not that effective. So you can test things out. You can do split tests, as I said, where you do slightly different variations on your ads and so on. I recommend checking out some tutorials from Facebook, as well as checking out experts like John Loomer. Even if you don't buy his courses, check out his blog, and you can learn tons and tons about it. And it can be really helpful and be really good. You can target, niche audiences in an incredibly detailed way, as I've talked about, hitting niche audiences. If you have a Christian message or a Muslim message or LGBTQ surfers, or, the more specific in a sense, the better. It's good to do research beforehand and find out where those people are going, what is their, what websites are they reading, what magazines do they read, how do they consume media, because you can also do different kinds of boosting on YouTube and so on, which has its own interface, but you can boost a lot and reach tons of people. There's over 1 billion users on Facebook. You can reach a lot of people through Facebook and make some sales that way and begin to build momentum for your film. So I hope that has helped you out a bit, understanding how the Facebook advertising system works. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to drop me a line.